gentlemen, welcome to the Grape Live Tasting live from Preston. Nice to have you, glorious people. Welcome. It is Albarino week. So what are we doing, Buzz?
Drinking Albarino, Thomas.
You better goddamn believe it. We're drinking Albarino. We've got 4/5 absolutely banging Albarinos for you guys to be trying today. We're super excited to run through them with you because I'll be honest with you, Baz. We goddamn love Albarino. So this isn't
We've been
exactly
saying
hard,
it for
is
a long time. It is going to be the #1 white grape variety very soon. We're going to really be focusing on showcasing the first. Turn up a bit,
mate. It's background music. Just
forever.
Stop getting distracted. No, until the end of the tune.
At least it's not.
Oh my god! You just ruined it. It was absolutely.
I was prepping upstairs his she shanties. Actually listens to for pleasure. For pleasures. Who knew?
Higgins, you're getting fucking roasted here, pal. I wouldn't accept it if I were you. Don't accept it.
We are going to be trying to showcase, or we're going to showcase, we're going to showcase the versatility of the Albarino grape variety. We're going to be showing how fresh it can be with minimal winemaking. We're going to be showing how it's going to act when you treat it a bit like a white Burgundy with oak interaction, malolactic fermentation, lees aging, all those things come into play. Traditional method sparkling winemaking. Like I said, we've been saying it for a long time. Albarino is super hard property, but it's not always been like that. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Happy days. Yeah, we've got some absolute stonkers on the roll here as well. So Raymond Bilbao.
Raymond.
Normally based up in the old Rioja up in northeastern Spain. But they do a little bit of and Rías Baixas in Galicia, which makes sense really when you think about it, because
like, how can we make more money?
Yeah, exactly.
What's doing well? Albarino.
What is the vin du moment? What is the wine of the moment? Albarino.
Let's build a
state-of-the-art
wine.
Let's fucking let's boogie. And so that's what they did, right? They dropped a billion euros into it, and
yes.
Another rocking.
Big producer, predominantly known for that. Just being a big producer doesn't mean that your wine is inferior. It's sometimes still be very good wine, particularly if it comes from growers, which it is in this case. And they do things really well in Rioja. So they decided to invest in the next hot place, which is Albarino.
Now from there we then go across to like legit and without like one of the trailblazers, one of the OGs.
Yes.
And we've got two wines from the inimitable Martin Kodaks.
We could have done a whole Albarino tasting just on Martin Kodaks because their entry-level expression, which is over here, we could have done that instead of this one. Then we've got an oaked one, we've got a lees aged one that also makes sparkling. So yeah, we could have done a Martin Kodaks tasting. But
when we did that, actually, we did Albarino.
We did with oysters, yeah, and I missed out on that one. So yeah. Fantastic, but yeah, OG, one of the founding families. There's plural here because there's multiple families that are involved in this project. But yeah, one of the founding families of viticulture. Two expressions: one that's seen a little bit of oak, that's seen a bit of malolactic fermentation. What that means, we're going to get into in depth, and then a Lias expression as well. See how that takes the oak away, just focusing on lees aging. Arguably, because we could have swapped these around, but I think we're going to go with this because then this one is something a little bit special. Yeah,
we've really pulled out all of the stops with that last wine, haven't we, Buzz?
Yeah, absolutely, completely out of budget, but yeah, it's a fantastic wine by Lagardo Pintos, which is a very small producer, only 5 hectares of land that these guys farm.
Just as an example, these guys, they're numbered bottles, as those of you that went for full bottles will know. They're numbered bottles. They make 3,000 of them each year. And just as an example, Moët Chandon make 28 million bottles or something, right? So I mean, when you don't get much more small batch than that.
What happens when you're small batch? You're in complete control of everything that happens to your fruit, to the winemaking. So these guys are really treating what's the opposite of noble? Ignoble grape variety that is Albarino, and treating it like
that is the technical, as in like, yeah, but it's not a positive thing to say.
No, well, you know what I mean. It's like it's a relatively common grape. It's not as noble as Chardonnay or Pinot Noir or anything or Cabernet Sauvignon. but yeah, treating it like a Burgundy, but steering away from malolactic fermentation because there still wants to be some freshness, some acidity, and that would be interesting to see. These are relatively similar in style. Let's see how they're going to taste.
Yeah, very much so. This has been a really popular week's worth of tasting. It's Albarino week, so if you go into either of the shops this weekend, we'll have the Mar Fridays Sparkling and the Martin Kodak's Alba Martin available by the glass. Super special discount prices on that as well. So super special discount price. No, you never did.
I actually did.
You because it is Albarino week. We had a tasting last night in Prestwich that was sold out. This has had a load of interest. We've got a load of people that have gone for big formats of this because everybody wants to drink in the last of the summer sunshine.
Somebody's always came a bit late though.
Absolutely batter a load of Albarino.
People just waiting on the iPhone weather app saying, "Is it going to be nice Friday?" Yes, okay, bye.
Okay, and we've also got a bonus bottle for those of you that plumped for it. We'll be doing it last as per usual because not everybody went for it. But for those of you that did, get ready because it is one of our faves as well. Fizzy Wizzy Albarino.
The first guys to do it as well.
From one of our favorite producers, Martin Fridays, and Trailblazers, once again, the first to do it. So that'll be last, but definitely not least. Right, before we start, guys, a little bit about what we've got coming up in the future. Loads of tastings up on the website if you guys want to look and book. I'm looking at Sean, I'm looking at Lizzie and Paul. I'm looking at you guys already have. You guys basically keeping us out of our overdraft, or keeping us out at the bottom of our overdraft, because it'd take a lot more than that to keep us out of our overdraft. Fucking hell. But with some big orders, we've got tastings all the way up until the end of September. Some absolute belters on there as well. There's a couple that we just want to bring to your attention because we're talking to you guys from the studio. We've got 2 live tastings next month. They are both outstanding tastings. Some of the firstly on the 16th, Friday the 16th of September, it's the return of Big Kenny Ken. Ken Forrester is back, joining us from Stellenbosch. Jen and Joel, who are on this tasting, will be joining us on that one, just apparently purely so they can become busy mates with Ken, because they're going to be down at his winery for New Year's down in Stellenbosch. Not jealous at all. Awesome. That's on the 16th. We'll be tasting 4 brilliant wines, the old wine Chenin Blanc, the FMC, the greatest white wines ever been made in my production, in my personal opinion. Right, okay. Pound for pound, the best. Then we've got the 3 halves we haven't tasted before, which is their GSM.
You haven't.
His GSM, and then there's the Gypsy Syrup, and we've also got some bonuses. We've got the Sparkle Horse, which is their Fizzy Wizzy, and we've also got by 250 and by 4 bottle the Dirty Little Secret, which is his toe dip into natural wine, but don't think natural wine, think minimal intervention, and an absolutely wild Chenin Blanc. We might have the return of a fan favorite up there with Kenny Ken for that, but we'll see what she's up to. She said she's up for it. That's all I'm going to say. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And then at the end of that month, I think it's on the 30th, we've also got an absolutely unreal, it's called Invasion, and it's international varietals growing specifically in Tuscany. Super Tuscans are a category of wine that were pioneered by people in Italy, blowing everybody else's mind by using international varietals in blends in Tuscany that were previously only Sangiovese, and if not Sangiovese, then die in a house fire. They all of a sudden started using Cabernet, and then this international varietal taking root in Tuscany became a real thing. So we've got a variety of stuff, not just sort of like Cabernet driven stuff.
Oh, it's an invasion.
An invasion.
An international
varietals in Tuscany.
So
we've got
clever.
Vintage Chardonnay. We've got a straight Viognier. I'm from Poggio al Tesoro, the Sondria Blanco.
Are we actually going for that?
Amazing, yeah.
It's £100 bottle of wine. You can't do that.
The people have spoken.
It's not Condrieu, mate. It's not Condrieu.
Okay. Then we've also got a couple of reds which are outstanding as well, and then again some bonus bottles as well. Check it out. It's all on the website now, and if you use G2G Fam, who knows what might happen.
Outstanding plug-in here, Thomas.
Outstanding plug-in. Now back to tonight. Grab your glasses, shake your asses, and let's go. We're going to go through how to taste wine because we haven't done it in a while, so we need to remind you guys.
I need wine then. Forward.
There you go. So you should all have menus. If you don't have menus, any kind of white surface will do, because we're going to show you how to taste wine. First and foremost, you're going to use your eyes. Well, first and foremost, you want to use all your senses. So you want to get Barry's really super fucking niche playlist.
I can't take any credit for actually creating the playlist this time, but I just went Galicia in the Spotify search bar, and there's a Galician folklore playlist came up, so I said I'm having that. So I don't know how long it is, don't know what's on it. I can't take any credit if it's any good. Certainly can't take the blame if it's very bad, but stick that on in the background, and it will get you transported to Galicia. Maybe.
Maybe it will certainly make you feel a bit weird as you're listening to. Because the thing about Spain is, and this is what our aforementioned person would have told us. Spain is a very, very different country depending on where in Spain you are. It is not one single homogenous region. Castilian Spanish versus Basque versus Galician versus all this kind of stuff. Very, very, very different sort of
languages.
All the different languages, different food, different cultures, different attitudes, different this, different all that kind of stuff. I can't remember why I brought that up. Oh yeah, so if you want to listen to a load of music in Galician, which I did Spanish at A level, I reckon I can probably understand it. You understand nothing.
It's like Welsh.
Nothing's like Welsh.
Okay, fine.
Apart from vomiting into
a
bucket.
Careful, there's Spanish people watching on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Happy. Yeah, well, I mean, we do have multiple digits worth of views on our YouTube channel.
Double digits.
Heads great to go live on YouTube and give us a like and a share and a comment and all that kind of stuff.
Subscribe.
But if the minute, like, I know what you people are like, you'd be straight on there, you'd be making racist comments or all of that kind of stuff. Just keep it off our algorithm, right? Or we will fucking block you, right? It's worth pointing out we will not block you because we need the subscribers.
I'm so happy that they removed the dislike button from YouTube.
It's definitely there.
Oh, okay.
You can definitely dislike
it.
It might not number it.
Oh.
It might just be like, I don't like this. But then no one finds out.
Well, I still get the notification because it hurts me personally. People dislike my content.
We're going to be doing an awful lot more of this stuff as well, which is quite exciting. So now grab your menus, stick the playlist on in the background if you want to have a thoroughly shit time.
Good, well, it could be glorious. We're going to listen to it later.
Listen to any
no.
Oh my fucking God.
Not one
it's going to be fucking rubbish.
Right, okay. Real spicy.
And then we're going to start off by dissecting with our eyes for each and every single wine. So grab your glass. Don't hold it up to a light source. All you'll see is the light. You won't see what's in the glass. You'll also blind yourself like I did with the sun coming in over there. Tilt it about 45 degrees. Hold it over this white surface and look down through it. You'll see so much more. We're looking for 5 key things. The depth of color and the intensity of color, they're linked, but they are different and unique. We're looking for any halo discoloration around the edge. Show us shine. It will show us signs of winemaking and particularly aging or the lack of it in a lot of these cases, because these are some young boys.
There might be some.
There are some, but there are some that are not. And then we once we've had a look and we've kind of assessed that, we want to then bring it up and we're looking for then the legs. How sticky is the wine? How much does it adhere to the inside of the glass? It is not a sign of quality. Some people think that it is. It is not. It is a sign of.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
It's not a sign of quality. Some people think that it is. It is in fact a sign of
a couple of things that implement the legs. Kind of thing.
But we're shedding subscribers, mate. As we speak here, this is an absolute nightmare.
So I was just admiring, and this is taking going a step forward here. When I tilted my glass back like this, the minerality that filled around my face.
You're getting ahead of it, man.
That's okay. But I was stuck in it. It's like, oh my God, that's so aromatic. And then you asked me a question, and then I completely zoned out. I was hugging granite. In my head.
Is that like a euphemism? Oh mate, I was like, when you're like when you hug porcelain, that means you're fucking you're spewing after too many Albarinos. Oh fucking
I'm hugging granite.
I'm hugging granite, which means that you know what that means? That means that you're coming up too hard off your tray pillar, and you're lying on the floor gripping onto the earth. I had that once, right, after being in a nightclub in Ibiza. X-rated, demonetized immediately, fine. And I was so high, I had to hold on to it. Was it Cristiano? Remember Christian Fiore?
Yes.
It was in his house, right? And I had to hold on to the roof. I went up and I was lying on the flat roof. Why were you lying on the roof? Because I was really high, man.
Oh, wow.
Just been in amnesia in Ibiza, and I was lying on the roof, and the roof was going like this.
Drugs are bad.
The roof was going, and I was having to grip onto it in order to stay where I was. Now that was hugging granite.
Well, hugging granite is when you've had too much minerality in your wine.
Too much minerality.
Too much oyster shell.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about,
anyway,
good. You are decent, honest, law-abiding people. So well done to you.
Drugs are bad. Yeah, don't do it.
So, legs are a sign of two things: alcohol by volume and residual sugar content. It's a good job I'm fucking here because he is barely here, right? Alcohol by volume and residual sugar content. Basically, both those things make the wine thicker and stickier. They'll stick to the inside of the glass. So when you give it a little swirl like that, it will stick, and the rivulets that form will take longer to form and longer to descend. That's what it means. It doesn't mean the wine is good or bad. It's about climate. It's about grape variety, and it's about winemaking techniques. Now, when it comes to nosing, Baz. When it comes to nosing a wine, there is a technique on how to do it properly.
Well, you can just go like this and minerality.
Oh, I'm hugging granite.
Particularly wines of an aromatic nature, and Albarino falls under that category.
Jesus Christ, this granite is getting hugged so hard.
By sticking your nose or hovering your nose just above your glass, you will start smelling aromas. Those are the most obvious ones. Those are the primary aromas. But to really get under the skin of the wine and get the full you need to move the wine around in a
2.5 years, guys. We're still making the same.
They're still funny jokes. They're still funny.
Keep booking on, though. You keep booking on. You know what that is? That's positive reinforcement of negative behaviour. You keep booking on, and we keep telling shitty jokes.
What we need to do is come up with some new jokes. Come on now. What you need to do is you need to move. What's wrong with our jokes? That are jokes. Well, Hug and Granite is a new one. There you go. There you go. You need to always make that reference of you clinging onto a flat roof at the beat there. What?
It was literally. It was. It was going like the roof was going like that. It was. It was like.
You've told the story before. So by moving the wine around in the glass in a whirlpool effect, that's what we're looking for.
If you're a pro like this, if you're not, flat surface. So for those of you that were on the sensational summer whites tasting, or in fact it was the Planeta tasting where I went like that, and that fell. My laptop did not function for about 10 days, so I had to buy a new laptop. I buy a new keyboard, but it's now working perfectly. So fingers crossed for it.
If the wine was so good, the Planeta, you went sneeze me.
I'm having such a good bang. Fuck.
I've screen grabbed it somewhere.
You should stick that onto the YouTube.
I should.
Clip it. In fact, there is an option here, right? There's an option. Look, you can go clip. Ooh. You can actually clip it, so we will do.
I don't know what that means.
Be on the other channel. You'll need to subscribe to that channel as well. It's called Grape Clips.
I think we'll get more subscribers on that. Anyway.
just me go knocking stuff over.
But yeah, to really get under the skin of the wine, to get the full holistic experience, all the aromas that will be whispering at you, need to move that wine around. So yeah, really
we're agitating it. It's not a cocktail. We're not blending a pina colada, but you do want to release the delicate secondary and tertiary aromas. They'll corkscrew up, and that's why we use glasses this shape. If you're not using a professional glass, then a wine glass is fine.
Nobody got
these were closer, so I didn't get the actual wine glasses. I got these ones, but they corkscrew up and they go exactly where your nose goes. Now, I was reading an interesting thing earlier on, and what we say is
reading, Tom.
Reading and actually listening.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Don't just hold it there. Your cavewoman brain will stop searching out new aromas if it just sits there. If you just hold it there, you'll smell the obvious things, then stop smelling anything else. So take it away, bring it back in. Just breathe in. You don't need to go like that. It doesn't do anything. If anything, it's going to cauterize inside your nose.
It's one of Tom's Ibiza parties. Hugging Granite.
So just breathe in and normally take it away, bring it back in. Different things every single time. Use the chat function. Let us know what you're tasting. It'll help everybody else at home as well. And it might inspire some people on the Grape Live YouTube channel to go and buy this wine, whatever this wine might be that you're commenting on. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that like and comment and subscribe button. Smash it. Bang!
Real hard.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, you know what? Elbow it like that, like a proper 12 to 6. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Right, lemon and aniseed says Stacey. Good job, loving those tasting notes. Keep them coming. We move on to how to taste wine. You can taste wine like this.
Oh, here we go. At that time, is it? How did that taste, Tom? You don't know, do you?
I don't know enough, Barry.
Oh, okay. Well,
I know enough to know that I don't know enough.
Let me demonstrate how it's really done then. What you need to do is you need to put a little bit of the wine in your mouth, not a whole glass.
A klein
beetje. And whilst the wine is then sitting on your palate, you need to leave it there for a couple of seconds so that it warms up to your body temperature. Does the same thing that swirling the glass of wine does when nose in the wine.
Absolutely.
Because if it's too cold, you're only going to taste wet and cold. It's not really going to have much flavor to it. Whilst it's on your palate, before you swallow it, you need to aerate it. And what you need to do is you need to suck a little bit of air through it by pouting your lips whilst the wine's still on your palate. Sounds tricky, but I shall demonstrate how this is done. What you need to do is, when you hold your glass, pinky out, always. Scientifically proven it tastes better. Okay?
If you don't put your pinky out, then you hate Jesus. And I think that's probably quite a bit of ASMR.
Oh, my God. Albarino, I love it. That's really good, actually. That's the one I had no high hopes for.
It's quite thick.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay, right. So
Anyway.
once you've held it there, suck through the invisible straw, aerates it, spreads it around your mouth to get all sorts of different things, including tannin, which you will get maybe a little bit of. Is there any skin contact in any of this? Maybe not. But with red wine, that will obviously be a big thing. Spread it all around your palate, and then there's no such thing as a wrong answer. You don't need to overthink this. Just go with what your gut is telling you. If that's saying I'm tasting this, that's fine. You don't have to be super flowery and all sorts of exotic sort of.
You're saying lemon and aniseed, and even if it's wrong, because it is, then no problem. No problem.
She's fucking furious.
I'm joking.
I don't know what
we were chatting today. It's all good.
She's giving you that. I don't know what that means. She's giving you that.
In order to do this.
She's going back in the waiting room. Bye, motherfucker.
No.
But your gut instinct can be fine. It doesn't need to be super flowery. It's just a base point. And like if you say, well, I'm getting pink grapefruit, we know that you can go from there straight to pink grapefruit curd. Right? Which Barry has decided is a thing. Not a thing. Pink grapefruit curd doesn't
pink
exist.
grapefruit curd.
Lemon, you can go lemon curd, or you can go lemon zest, or lemon juice, or lemon meringue.
I've still never had lemon curd.
I've got some in my fridge. You should come round. I'll spoon it into your mouth.
It's made with eggs, isn't it? Lemon and eggs. Curd.
Oh, we're fucking.
Oh, that's curdling. Ah, my fault.
Curdling.
So curd.
No, curd comes from like cheese curds.
No, because it's curdling. Because it's disgusting. Yeah.
But
nobody goes.
But listen, don't you come from the land of eggnog? Not eggnog. Advocaat. This is also.
There's no lemon involved, eh?
Advocaat and lemonade. No lemon.
Yeah, but we don't put lemonade in Holland. You put like squirty cream on top.
Squirty cream.
Yeah. Yeah. No lemonade. Snowballs is not what we created. It's what Snowball.
Okay, so
anyway.
That's it. Then we look for the approach, the mid palate, the finish. The approach is the first thing you taste. Normally, acidity, definitely acidity. Normally, some residual sugar as well. Then we look for the mid palate. The mid palate is where the real action happens. That's where the fruit starts to really develop. Some of the tertiary flavor profiles from things like oak aging, and the finish is how the wine transmogrifies or changes over time. Once you have swallowed it. Long finishes again aren't a sign of quality. Crappy wine you can keep tasting that for an awfully long time. Correct. Are you looking up the etymology of the word curd?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Whatever comes out of this, do you know what's important to know? Grapefruit curd is not a thing.
It is, man. I bet it is.
Some middle class fucking
blood orange curd
woman from Gloucester
Pomelo
has
curd.
100%
Pomelo curd.
Pomelo. Okay, we're
Buddha's hand curd. Do you know what that is?
Granite curd.
No, Buddha's hand. It's like the finger citrus from Asia.
I'm aware of what Buddha's hand is.
Okay. Do you remember that vodka? Hang on. Buddha's hand. Anyway, I'm trying to think of more
curds.
crazy citrus.
Right. How the other one changes. Have the cheese once you've had the finished.
Mandarin curd.
Oh my god. Tangerine, Cat and Dave. Yeah, we're all over it. Right. Okay. Orange curd.
Hey, look at the name on the curd.
On the curd. All right. Okay. Let's get into this first one. The Ramon Bilbao, the Journey collection.
Yuzu curd. Oh, it's such a good time. It's good to be back, man.
It is
good
fucking great to be back.
So take some wine up,
absolutely loving it.
Let's go. Everybody's way ahead, mate. They're all in wine 4.
No, because everybody
went curd, you.
My friend,
And
actually, let's shout out to he's Kurdish, but no. That's the thing. Yeah, I know, but he's definitely a barber, by the way. Because guy turned up to my rugby the other day, and he had like the most beard that you've ever fucking seen. I was like, a Turkish man did that to you. And he was like, Yes, he was Turkish Kurdish. I was like, you can fucking tell. His beard was like it was spray painted on.
Sculpted.
Yeah. it's like somebody got the thing and then it was just like it's really weird. Right, so the Journey Collection by Raymond Bilbao. Interesting fact, Rias Baixas is where this region is from, in Galicia, and it means the low rivers. Rias River, Baixas low.
Correct.
There we go.
Referring to the 4 estuaries in the region's southwestern edge.
Don't worry, there'll be some screen sharing. Don't
Okay.
worry, guys. Right, okay, dissect.
Okay, Albarino.
40 minutes into the fucking tasting.
This is going to be a long night. We're going to look at the color first. So you're going to be thinking, right, okay, Albarino, relatively aromatic grape variety, is relatively similar in style to Sauvignon Blanc. It's going to look the same, and you're going to think that's going to be across the board. But Tom,
okay,
there will be some discolorations throughout the wines. But this one in particular is very, very reminiscent of that Sauvignon Blanc sort of appearance. It's almost translucent. There's a slightly yellowish tinge to it, and I might even go as far as saying it looks a bit green because the Albarino grape is particularly green in color. It's quite nicely uniform. Tells me that this is arguably young wine, not really seen much winemaking to it. Guess what? I know that that's the truth. Yes, that's right. Not just making stuff up like aniseed and lemon. And looking at the legs,
Bazinga!
Yeah, I've had attitude this morning. Looking at the legs, I'm going to think that all these wines will relatively quick leg-wise.
12.5.
It's all quite low alcohol, minimal residual sugar.
13 for the tres.
To be honest, man, this has taken quite some time. So might be some skin contact involved that makes these.
So when Barry does research for all of these stuff, obviously he's not just turning up without having done any research. That's my job.
Yeah, I was going to say that's it.
But Barry does research, but you were struggling because this is a wine where they've told you fucking nothing.
There's nothing.
Nothing about this wine. So you are basing this purely on the fact that you know a lot about wine. Right? It might have a little bit.
Well, if you just say it might be, then it could be true. Could not
can
be true,
neither
right?
confirm or deny.
Yeah, there's literally zero information about this wine. And even on their website, it doesn't even mention that they do this wine. So, okay.
It just says, visit us.
So, luckily, Dom did this tasting yesterday, so he's got loads of notes on it. So I'm just stealing those. Thanks, Dom.
I've got to be honest with you. I am a fan.
By the way, it's worth pointing out this was everyone's favourite yesterday.
£20.50. If you buy it tonight, which you won't be able to because there's none available to buy on the website or whatever. It says £18.50, which is proper fucking stingy. I don't know why she's only giving you 10% there. It should have been 20%. So I'll tell you what, we'll go for 20% on all of this. So it'll be £16.50 if you pre-order with us. £16.50 for this wine, which, by the way, shut the fuck up. This is massively punching. For 16.5 quid.
I'll be the decider of that. Nobody cares what you think, Tom. Your inferior wine knowledge. Keep your opinions to yourself. It's not Primitivo and interesting enough.
I've got to listen, mate. I'm over Primitivo. I'm not into it.
Oh, really?
I'm not into it.
Yeah.
I think Cabernet. I'll tell you what I'm drinking today is fucking Albarino, though.
Well, let's have a little smell now.
Albarino.
So, granite hugs is definitely something I get on the nose. I get wafts of aniseed.
Loads of lemon.
Beautiful amount of lemon.
she just went, fuck off.
So he's never going to comment ever again. straight out, first one out, and then get royally taking the piss out of him.
Yeah, exactly.
No, hold on. I'm joking, Stacey, because I do get a little bit of aniseed, and you know I'm Dutch, right? I
know all about aniseed. My entire culture is built on licorice.
We love the
aniseed and banging stones together.
In fact, that smells like my childhood. There you go. Banging stones together.
Click clack.
Looking beyond it, because there's also a little bit of
just dab.
No, did I? I just tried to smell the inside there, so to reset my orifices.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barry is not going to reset his orifices live on camera to our millions and millions of Hulkamaniacs watching on the Grape Train live YouTube channel.
Oh man, this is going to take forever. This day, I can't.
I
can't get past the appearances.
I'm down with that. These fuckers, look at them. They've got nothing else to do.
Oh, yeah.
They're spending their Friday nights with us. You fucking dweebs. You know, you could be out there chasing birds.
Hey, maybe
/ chasing boys.
Maybe what else I can smell in this is a little bit of Tropicalia.
Tropicalia. Now, for those of you that don't know, Right, Tropicalia is an entirely made up word.
It's not. It's a song.
Tropicalia.
In Holland, we call it Tropicalia. When it's something smells tropisch, we say Tropicalia in the Nederlander.
Turkish.
No,
Sharon says
tropisch.
grapefruit with a bit of palm tree, which is pretty like grapefruit curds, indeed.
Incorrect.
Lizzie Paul, almond pear with some orange zest over the top. Love it. Cat and Dave with a bit of tangerine action. Oh,
Sweet oranges for everyone. Sweet citrus for everyone. Yeah, why not?
You got anything else you want to add into this? I'm just gonna continue drinking.
Every single time I visit the glass, there's something else whispering at me. That's actually a good sign usually.
It's really. I mean, it's Albarino classically a very aromatic grape, right?
Well, legend has that Albarino is a distant cousin or something. It's got family in Riesling. So actually what they thought, actually what they thought is that monks from Germany brought the Albarino grape over to Galicia and made it their indigenous grape variety, because Alba means white in Latin, and then Rino from the Rhine River. That was great until I then actually listened to Martin Kodak's podcast and said, no, none of that's true. That's actually, I love the stories. Like, that's great.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story, Baz.
That's great. No,
these guys aren't going to fact check.
They then said, no, it turns out that these monks might have been staying in the monasteries over in
it was Carthusians, right?
In Galicia, correct? Yes. Too much of a big word for me to remember. So it's monks.
The monks.
There was two stories. One of them said, it could have been monks from Burgundy that brought it over, so it might have been a Burgundian grape variety. The other one, I liked the story better, so I went with that one. But then I listened to the podcast and said, no, it's actually an indigenous grape variety, but the monks might have been there staying at their monasteries and showing the people how to tend to the plant and actually get fruit from it.
Now, I'm going to do some screen sharing just now, guys, before Baz goes into some more detail about this particular winery, winemaking, and all the other things.
You might as well skip to the next one. Hey.
The Mabsmeister has dropped a little bit of pineapple sorbet on us in terms of a tasting note, which I'm a big fan of.
That's actually what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Tropicalia, pineapple.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Whatever.
It is still bone dry on the palate, though. Huh? Well, there's a lovely texture to it.
There is a load of texture to that. So are we thinking that maybe it might have had some lise? Now,
I think I know what happened.
Go on then.
You know why I think I did? Because Albarino is a particularly thick-skinned grape variety that needs that skin to really withstand the disease pressure that you get in Galicia because of the massive amounts of rainfall.
Yeah.
So Galicia actually means green Spain. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Just because I read Dom's notes this morning.
I was today years old when I found that out. But because of the amount of rainfall, you actually get some green growth over here. And the grapes, as we know, it adapts to its climatic surroundings. So because of that massive amounts of humidity that you're going to have there, you're going to get loads of disease pressure more than mildew. So it develops a thicker skin. There's also another little clever thing that they do to train the vines a certain way to get a little bit more aeration.
Actually, that's a really nice segue because I've got some great images here. Mate. We are here, ladies and gents. We are here in Rías Baixas, here in the northwestern corner of Spain, in the region known as Galicia. Specializes in white wines. You told me some figures earlier on. 96% of the wine that's grown here is white, which comes as no surprise. And the 96% of that 96% is all Albarino.
The other way around, 99% white, yeah. And then of that 99%, it's 96% is all Albarino. Can you name another grape variety from Galicia? That's white.
Godeo.
Oh, very good. Another one?
Menfio.
That's red.
That's all that it's telling me.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
going to say Verdeco.
No. I didn't know. Anyway,
Whatever, dickhead.
Do you know where Albarino might grow elsewhere? Do you know that?
Lots of places.
Yeah, okay, well done. But on that map, you can see it. Where do you reckon?
Go back to northern Portugal.
Hey!
This Vinho Verde region just here. You'll also get some Albarino with V instead of B because Portuguese don't know how to say the words. This is a zoom in here. This is the Val do Salnes, which is where all of our wine comes from today. We didn't pick any of the other places. Somehow I managed to pick all of the wines to come from here. Whatever.
Shall I just help out now again with picking the wines? So we're actually doing some.
Well, it'd be nice if you did some work, right? That'd be great. That'd be really, really good. But Val do Salnes is where some of our favorite producers come from. So I guess it's not really a surprise that we're going to pick Rias, Baichas, Albarinos, and they're going to come from this region. But
Nice
proximity to the ocean is absolutely crucial here. It makes a huge difference. But as Barry mentioned, this is the unique way in which they train the vines here. You can see how close we are talking in terms of proximity to the water body there. There are different parts of Galicia. We're not tasting other wines from here, but there are some that are much further up in the hills where proximity to the ocean is not as big of an influence as much as breezes and altitude.
Yeah, exactly.
But this here, these concrete, I mean, this isn't unique to Galicia, right? Because they do have these in Vinha Verde in Portugal in the Douro region as well, right?
Yes and no. This particular way with those granite outposts, when I grow them up to, it's actually not called pergola. So it's pergola style training. Pergola is what you find in the northern parts of Portugal. This kind of style is unique to Galicia, and centuries of expertise in growing this way.
Now, we said Galicia means green Spain. You can see why. I mean,
it's green.
Compare this to compare this to Umea, compare this to the Valencia region, Catalayud, Rioja, Navarra. Like, this doesn't look like Spain, does it? At all, but it is. That much more moisture, that much more rainfall, crazy winds whipping in off the Atlantic. That's part of the reason why they grow them out of there, so the wind can blow through, alleviate the disease pressure by moving the moisture on, so it doesn't get to sit there, and it either evaporates through the passage of wind over it, or it is literally blown out of the vineyard, so that it doesn't sit there, sit on the vines, sit on the grapes, and cause mildewing, and then eventually, obviously, rotting.
Yeah, that's why those thin skin, those thick skins they've got as well, to withstand any sort of botrytis.
But one thing which I think is lovely, because they grow them. I mean, this is 6 foot. This is 6 foot high. This, right? This is tall, right? So this kind of growing over the top here, it also would provide great shade, because whilst Galicia is a lot cooler and a lot wetter than the rest of Spain, it is still Spain. It's like saying Victoria is cooler and wetter around the Mornington Peninsula than it is in Barossa, but it's still Australia. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's still a big thing there.
There's still a lot of sunshine hours in Galicia, but that is actually the perfect climatic conditions for botrytis, for noble rot to actually occur. And Martin Codex actually make a late harvest dessert wine made from Albarino.
Why are we not?
Because it's not available in the UK.
UK.
No, and I went to Porto, which is in the northern part. I've been there. And in the northern part of Portugal, and I visited the Vinha Verde region, and I tasted a late harvest Albarino. It was, God, super wine.
When it comes to dessert wines, that's good. When it comes to dessert wines, obviously either by late harvest or by drying, like a recioto, or by fortification, you're adding in sugar to make it sweeter and stickier. If that wine doesn't have lifted acidity already, that wine will be unpalatable, right? It will just be like drinking melted. It'd be like drinking gum, like sugarcane syrup you put in a cocktail. No, thank you. Right?
No, thank
you.
Mate, you've done a shot of gum before, have you?
No,
yeah.
Not to my knowledge, actually. No, I've done a shot of quite a lot of stuff. I mean, Granite Gripper.
You've lived.
But that acidity. So picking a wine like Albarino, thick, like a 2-to-1, not even like a 1-to-1.
What's his name? The guy who drank the maraschino juice. Anyway.
Bungalow.
Yeah, Bungalow.
We call him Bungalow because he wasn't as big as a house, but he was definitely as big as a bungalow. And he used to drink maraschino cherry syrup out the jar, straining off the cherries like that. And he's now dead. And he's now missing.
Dead.
He's now missing a foot because he is diabetic to fuck. he's not actually. He's alive as well. He's alive and well.
Oh, okay.
I'm definitely not watching this. So there you go.
Well, I hope not. So, Alex, I hope you well, mate.
Bungles, what up, big guy? How are you? But that lifted acidity is crucial in dessert wine. So Albarino, you would think would be perfect for it, but Albarino tends to grow in cooler regions, and so it's got to be harder to make a dessert wine. But that being said, they make ice wine in fucking Canada. So
exactly, this just depends on how long you leave the fruit to hang on the vine. So late harvest, the longer you leave.
Is the first one this goat's cheese?
Yeah, but no, it's actually the normal goat cheese, but we just ran out for our own. So,
Right, so we've got a really good goat cheese, and you guys have got.
It doesn't look very good. Why is that?
Sure.
Why is it winking at me?
It's rolled in ash. It's not green.
Go on then. Did you pour me more of that wine? I'm sure I finished my glass. Thank you.
What can I say?
That the texture is something that I want to highlight.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I couldn't really find much information about this wine, but to really get texture out of a white wine, there's usually some skin contact involved. So what they do is they will harvest the fruit, squeeze or press the juice or crush the berries, and then leave the skins to sit in with the juice to just extract some of those textural notes that the waxiness that you want from the skins of the grapes. Yeah, this was everybody's favorite yesterday, and I just went, what? Do you know what I mean? Because I know what number 4 tastes like. Let's go. It's right of Strata, you know, like what? White Burgundy, made from Albarino. Yes, please. But yeah, this is actually pleasantly, surprisingly delicious. Quite nice.
Really
wine,
good.
yeah.
And I've got to be honest with you, Ramon Bilbao is a massive limp peel for me. Like so much of it is just bang average wine, over extracted, mass produced.
Wow.
They make so much
Strong
stuff that
words.
only their kind of the top end stuff is really noteworthy and memorable. Like their Criantha is, yeah, fine, you can drink it and it's fun, but it's not a wine that's going to make you go, I really want. Whereas like the Bodegas LAN Criantha, you go, you know, that
Twice the price.
yeah, well, fine, okay. Well, that's the point.
They can make good entry level stuff.
This, however, is an entry level wine by them that I am massively enjoying drinking, and you know, and that's got to count for something, because what I
guess
say matters.
Yeah.
So now it's time to
Absolutely.
move. Drink it.
Fine.
Come on. Hopgate.
You're just trying to get me drunk.
I don't have to try, Barry.
Already have. Actually,
Okay, we're
very
now-
late.
Yeah, Baz was raving with his newly teenage daughter over in Godverdomme Leeds town. Party time, Leeds.
We had a gig in yesterday.
I've got some good stories about nights out in Leeds, but I will not share them on here because
Do they involve granite hogging?
they involve other stuff.
Okay.
Right, okay, so
Wildlife has lived.
this is now a time for the Martin Kodak's
go.
Organischtrum. I'm gonna beat that boy to death for leaving that fucking door open. But anyway, I'm not literally going to do that because I've just admitted it whilst live streaming on Urdu. If he dies, it wasn't me. It was entirely coincidental. This is the Martin Kodak's Organischtrum, and just in case you guys are wondering, this is what an Organischtrum is. Can anybody else tell me what else an Organischtrum might be known as?
I know it.
Anybody else? There we go. Let's listen to this. Oh no, hang on. I didn't do share sound. Let's listen to this, shall we? Should we see what this is? Let's have a look.
You're going to share your questionable.
Well, there might be something which pops up in the corner saying "Love, honey." So let's hope that doesn't happen. Thanks, YouTube.
This is your home.
Fuck you.
This is your lounge slash.
Great.
Oh man,
We don't get any royalties for this. What's
it's
going
not
on?
even. It's not even a short one as well. It is like one of the. Oh, hang on. We're back on. Higgins, if you leave that door open again, I'm going to kill you with that knife. I just want you to know that. Okay, so.
Oh, you wound What the heck is that? Oh, stop it, please.
I feel like I'm. You don't know what I feel like. Jesus Christ.
I quite liked it.
Feels like hurdy-gurdy is indeed another name for that instrument.
Yeah, but that's not fair because Paul works in music.
He works in music. He's also
That's not fair.
probably googling.
Oh, okay.
Which is classic aspersions on Paul's knowledge. of course, 'cause
Paul
he's-
100%.
and you know what? It might not have been Paul. It might have been Lizzie because they use the joint.
Did you know, though, Paul, that there's only 2 that still exist to this day, and thank God.
Shut
Because
and one of them, those 2 pricks were playing, and we'll never fucking put that on again. Jesus. Right. So
we have a laugh.
the Organischtrum by Martin Kodak's 2019.
Yes.
So in terms of age, this is 2 years older than the Raymond.
Plus, plenty wine mix.
Plenty winemaking. Okay, right. Let's dissect it.
So
We have
different.
wine number 2, the Martin Kogak's Organischer. Let's
I've
have a
still
little
got
look.
some of wine number 1 compared and contrast. So different. So much more.
Deeper in colour.
Go on.
Much
Tell me
deeper in
more.
colour.
Tell
So
me more.
We're looking more, almost verging towards like a sort of white rose gold. Maybe a little. I'll tell you what. I'm getting a little hint of onion skin there as well. A little bit like.
Absolutely
Just
not. He's just making this up. It's just buzzwords.
No, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
You're not.
It might be because my
it's not a
skin is
rosé.
Doesn't mean I'm not getting a little bit. Don't tell me what I'm seeing, Baz. I just spat everywhere.
At least you didn't throw your.
At least I didn't just go. Oh, I nearly did just then. Right. Okay. So I get a little fleck of it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you.
whatever,
I just do.
Whatever.
A little bit of brass. A little bit of brassiness. There we go.
I guess it's almost like
Touch of
ruby red. Maybe it's a touch of garnet.
No. I'll turn your microphone off.
Okay.
But because we've got the good mic set up, they'll just hear you on this mic. So. Okay, right. The legs are pretty rapid. I've got to be honest with you.
They are.
They're pretty uniform. I'm not really actually getting any rivulets. I'm just getting a.
No, you're right. And you know what? That's 100% skin contact with the first one. I'm going to call where I'm on Bilbao. 1 second. I'll go on speed now.
Oh, that was that wicked head teacher.
Who's that?
Oh, it's the guys from Ramon Bilbao. Hey, yeah, it's Baz.
Job it was white.
Yeah, good. You know, the Albarino that you guys do, it's not on the website, by the way. Is any skin contact involved in that? See, cheers. Yeah, skin contact. There you go.
See, cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you, cheers. Thank you, Raymond.
Thanks, Raymond. It's Raymond on speed dial.
Oh dear. Hello? Is that Martin? Raymond's a Peter. Oh, right, okay, so let's have a little whiff at this one. What do you guys think of this Organistrum?
It's
whoa,
so different. So different.
That is like a lemon. It's not like fruit.
What's Stacey saying?
Stacey's going lemon and aniseed.
Well, it's Stacey's tasting now.
No. Right, fruit salad sweeties.
I get a lot of tertiary.
There's I tell you what it smells like. It smells like this. It smells like this. This orange zest, sort of creme anglaise, like orange zest custardy type vibe, right?
It's no such
That
thing.
is unbelievable.
It's no such thing. It smells a bit like lemon meringue to me.
Lemon meringue, says Stacey.
Oh, there you go.
Almost
I
like,
saw you.
I was like,
I'll comment.
I get much more sweet. So like.
No, for me it's really tertiary, man. It's like I get like spice. I get like butter,
mad.
pastries. All right.
That's unlike any Albarino that I've ever tried in my entire life.
Well, the two that you fried,
Peach and honey, so Lizzie and Paul.
Peach and honey. I get like wood, expensive, like not expensive, but just like oak. I can smell oak. I smell a little bit of batter. I don't get any of the minerality. I get a little bit of fennel.
Sean Dunk smells fantastic. Definitely get the oak. Vanilla pod. Don't get citrus or much fruit. I'm getting
same.
Absolutely bags of orange, like orange that like literally like
You ever smelled an orange before? Yeah. You have an orange
I will
smell?
fucking knock you out. I will fucking spin in my wash it.
Yeah.
Like you know, like the lemon zester, not as in like the speed, like the potato peeler, but you know the one that's got like lots of little like circles, and you go like that, and it all right. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You know what I mean. You guys know what I mean, right? You got like that.
Do you remember we used to have those things that you go like that, and it comes out in a little. How
canal?
How early 2000s was that? You don't see
Wrap
that anymore.
it
On a straw,
around the straw, and then like.
Oh, I used to do that. It was horrible.
That'll be, and then you charge somebody £5.25 for it.
What, for the garnish?
No, for the drink because it was fucking
2000.
2000.
Yeah, exactly.
You spent 8 minutes making it. You've used a £65 bottle of booze, and you charge somebody £5 because you don't know any different. You're in a pub.
Yeah.
But you know, like an orange zest, like literally, so like the where you.
Yeah, I know it.
It's the orange oils.
No.
Loads of vanilla, like a creme anglaise, like a proper loose custard.
You can tell that he's excited.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, all right, mate.
I'm ready. You ready?
I don't like the nose of it.
Oh my god! Fuck you!
I don't like the nose of it. See if the wine is any good to taste, though. Very pleasant, very pleasant. Bit thin though on the finish.
I don't know. I'm not getting that at all.
Are we on different wavelengths?
Are we tasting different wines? We poured it from the same
Yeah,
bottle,
that's
right?
why I said. Am I smelling this side? Yeah. Right, move on. Leah.
I'm thoroughly sold on this one. I've got a little bit of screen sharing for you guys, but we're going to go slightly off piste here.
I could like
we're going to listen to 6 minutes.
No, please.
No,
Actually,
6 minutes of Organistrum. No, but this is a really nice thing. This is a part of a series of videos by Martin Kodak highlighting
6 minutes of Organistrum.
folk instruments from around the world. We're starting off with the hurdy-gurdy, the hurdy-gurdy, with the hurdy-gurdy.
Siempre digo que el mar es como el padre de todo, ¿no? Nunca hay que perderle el respeto.
What is it, right, about in Spanish? There's something like, it doesn't matter what they're describing. He could have been talking about when you come to the end of the street, you must take a left. And when you have taken a left, on the right-hand side, you will see a bin and a post box. Next to this is where I live. You can come in anytime you like. Like, it's saying something not important because it's in Spanish. It's like, it's worth pointing out as well. This is in English with English things, but this isn't good.
Curioso, como algo con tanta fuerza que puede deshacerse de ti tan rápido, transmita tanta calma. La calma en un mundo de locos. Un sitio que tienes aquí cerca, donde vas a escapar sin tener que ir a ninguna parte. Y no es el hecho de tenerlo justo delante, es saber que estará ahí al lado cuando lo necesite. Es como ese amigo que hace mucho que no ves, pero que sabes que sigue estando ahí, aún sin estar. Son esas olas, la sal de la vida en el aire. Si me lo quitaran, me estarían quitando todo. Y no solo me pasa a mí, ¿eh? Yo creo que pasa con todas las cosas que le rodean. Los animales, las plantas, la propia tierra. Es contradictorio, ya sé, pero cuanto más me alejo de él, más siento que me ahogo. El mar es mi familia, es lo que soy, es lo que hago. Supongo que es la suerte que tengo de haber nacido donde otros vienen a inspirarse.
Do you know who Martin Kodak is, Tom?
Isn't he sort of an equivalent with that guy that shouted at windmills?
What?
Come on,
What?
you know the Spanish.
What, a jester?
No, Spanish dudes from the way back fought against the
He
Moors,
shouts at windmills.
and they did something with windmills. Come on, people that are more. Hang on,
Pull that shit up, Joel.
Pull that shit up, Joel. Don Quixote was it, Paul? Yes, wasn't he of equivalent age of that, like 13th century kind of like
It was a troubadour.
a troubadour?
So a troubadour, if you say in Nederlander, and
Is when you say the Nederlander, you say exactly the same, just with a little accent.
I like a troubadour. And troubadours, they write poems and they sing songs, but in Galician. And this is hold on, this is the kicker. This is why it's proof that Albarino is an indigenous grape variety, because this was 13th century and he was singing about the grapes made from
I fucking love Albarino.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like to pour it on my
toast. Cereal. Toast. Or my toast. Yeah, so he was
This is absolutely mental.
he loved the wine, he loved the ocean, he loved Galicia, and he loved the women. So
And he loved the Juimi.
and if you ever see a bottle of Martin Kodak's wine on the shelves in Grape to Grape, it has some of his song lyrics on the bottle in Galician. No, you can't look.
She had a fantastic bottle. whatever it was.
I love Albarino.
And
Okay, let's not take the piss out of old Martin here. But yeah, he was a troubadour, 13th century, and they named it after him. These guys, only in 1980, the DO got
Dio
classified
means denominación origen.
when they pretty much said, look, Albarino, for it to be named Rio Spice, it needs to come from here. There's certain rules and regulations you need to adhere to call this an Albarino from this DO. But these guys started off in 1985, so almost hand in hand with the Dominication. Is that the right?
Denominación
Denomination. There you go.
origen.
And
Very good.
it is a cooperative, so they wanted to give a name to the company, something that was really sort of like idiosyncratically Galician. So Martin Kodak's, they named it.
Worth pointing out, this is also super short production run. This particular one, which is 2019,
12,000 bottles.
13,852 bottles, and this is number 2006.
And look, it's got a little bit of wood attached to the bottle. Why do you think that is?
Is that because it has had some wood influence on it?
Correct.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it, Baz.
Right,
Tell us all
so
about it.
they actually do tell us what this one is all about. So,
It's almost like they're proud of it.
yeah. Salnes Valley, so this is super coastal. Now, that's obviously that video that you just saw there. The ocean has got an incredible influence. So this is the Atlantic Ocean. The vineyards are the first thing you're going to see when you come inland. That saltiness that's in the air, it will sit on the skin of the grapes. And when these grapes then get pressed, that salinity goes into the juice and then it ferments. And you get that really sort of like idiosyncratic flavor profile of salinity with an Albarino. Yay. English words. It's my second language, people.
I'm teaching him. Transmogrify, idiosyncratic.
Beautiful. The hurdy-gurdy is
hurdy-gurdy with a hurdy-gurdy.
So limited production. So this is the entry level, then it's up to this one, and then this is actually one of the top levels. Is that more expensive than the Leas? I think so.
I'm gonna guess that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only by a couple of quid. So small crates, so it keeps the fruit in pristine condition, so there's no like crushing already started.
I mean, what you got to imagine, once you've harvested, then we've got.
You don't want this to be more oxidative. Do you know what I mean?
We've got a picture. Barry's not a fan. I don't know if you're picking up on that, right? But we've got a picture of the harvest, video of the harvest that we're going to show before the Lias ones. And if you're putting all your freshly harvested bunches into crates that are big crates, you're going to get some popping and bursting of particularly ripe berries at the bottom just through the weight. So they deliberately choose smaller crates, but it takes longer. There's more labor intensive, more trips, more people. So it is a choice that they're making, these smaller crates, and it does make a difference in the final product. Are we or the guys at home tasting these small crates, or are we tasting and
taste the small crates?
Or, if you let me finish, fucking Dutch wanker, or are they tasting the winemaking? Because there has been quite a lot of it, right?
This is the one that sees the most winemaking out of the lineup today.
That's why I like it the most.
That's exactly, yeah. Let's manipulate the shit out of it so that doesn't taste anything like the fruit that's supposed to be. Anyway, now, all jokes aside, it's not terrible, but I'm not getting any. To be honest, now that I've had it in my mouth and I go back to smelling it, it smells a little bit better. But for me, the nose is the first thing that really sort of like pulls me into the wine, and I'm not getting a great nose. So that's probably why I don't like it as much as it should. A lip match gets a bit of, I think it's like, is that sulfur? Is this all right? But yeah, then you go, oh my God, orange good.
No,
like
orange zest.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Creme anglaise custard.
Cool. Curd. Buddha's hand. 36 hours
granite.
in a cryo room, at 5 to 10 degrees to stabilize the fruit, to infuse the flavors.
Super cool.
Yeah, so nice and cold to keep again the fruit in pristine condition, but also it enhances the aromas that you're going to get in the fruit after the pressing is then completed. Then it goes through a cold press. So again, you're not going to get as much liquid from it, but
keep the temperature down as low as you can. Maintain that acidity. Keep it bright, because you know that down the line we've got a hell of a lot of winemaking coming into it.
So this is a really great start, and just leave it in oak. Yeah, great. Okay. So what are you going to taste? Oak. Superb. Fermented on barrique, which are barrels of between 300 and 500 hectoliter. Malolactic fermentation.
I think Zoom has got, for those of you that were struggling to get on earlier, there's a new account. Does that look like it's like touching up our appearance? Do we look like we've got an Instagram filter on, by the way?
I said the influencer light. That's
touch up my appearance. Yeah, no, touch up my appearance is in fact on.
Oh wow!
So it looks like, yeah, this is this is what we actually look like. Jesus.
Wow. Okay. Did I get? No. Touch me up and all that. So fermented on barrique.
Utu.
Hey. Malolactic fermentation occurs while it's then sitting in this barrel. Malolactic fermentation is a bacterial secondary fermentation that they allow to happen in this case to transform the malic acids that are really harsh that you find in green apples to the lactic acids that you find in yogurt. Then 6 months, they leave it in oak after that, partially. Some parts.
Sorry, start again. So,
if you don't pay attention,
barrel fermenting for how long? You can rewind on Utu. Barrel fermented for how long?
Well, fermentation usually lasts up to 2 weeks. So up to 2 weeks in barrel.
Then
they can part of that on back in, so they leave some of it in the barrel, but they can some of it back into steel because they don't want it to be.
They don't want it to be super oaky,
like it is. So don't know why they do it.
Whatever they're trying to do, they fuck it up.
But for 6 months, they leave it in that oak, and then there's regular batonnage occurring as well.
Batonnage, I can answer that one.
Go
batonnage is the stirring of the lees particles. The gross and the fine lees are dead yeast cells that are in the wine mixture.
Yeah, great.
Fuck you. The dead yeast particles that have eaten all of the sugar that they can eat, or eaten the sugar until the winemaker wants to stop, and then they kill it with heat. And then these yeast cells, once they are dead, they're left in contact with the wine. They will add thickness, in particular texture. That's why particularly cool climate varietals like Albarino, like Muscadet, like Picpoul de Paris. No, actually, they don't do that because it's South. In cool climate white varietals often need that lees aging to thicken it out a little bit. You also maybe get a little bit of, when you stir it in particular, you maybe get a little bit more of that yeastiness manifesting in sort of like pastry and freshly baked bread vibes.
So batonnage. Then cold stabilization. What do you reckon that means?
I reckon that means that once all this quite impactful and tumultuous action has occurred, that they want to go, whoa, chill, man.
Not really.
And then they just chill it.
It's the filter. So what they do is they chill the liquid down, which means that it expands, which means that it's easier to rack off the clear juice from the top half, from the solidified.
If you chill something, it will contract.
All right, well, the other way around.
But so they chill it, and therefore the globules of stuff that contracts and it sinks. Therefore, the liquid you can then take off from the top. All right, makes sense. 100%.
Lekker, innit?
There you go. Grammar school education, worth it.
And then it goes inside of the bottle, and then in your unfortunate hands. Nah, I'm bashing this real hard just because you like it so much.
I know. I'm fully picking up on that. And so is everybody else at home.
What do you guys think at home?
Do you guys like it? This is outstanding. I also think that this is not a very Albarino.
It's really a great way to showcase the versatility of the grape variety now.
You can do lots of stuff with it. It is available for wine. A cab has lifted acidity, can wine make. Go for it.
It's still quite bright. It still reminds me a little bit of an Albarino on the palate. On the nose, for me, all that mint, I just don't particularly like the nose.
For me, the thing that is making that really stand out for me is that it's so distinct and clear what it is that I'm smelling. I'm smelling orange zest and I'm smelling vanilla. And orange is, but that's that specific orange grated zest that you would find on the top of a, you find on the top of a coupe cake. Candied orange peel, all of that stuff. I fucking love it. I think it's great. Hope you guys do as well at home. And if you don't, well, you've already paid your money, no refunds. So right, okay, time to move to wine number 3.
Same producer. So these guys started off as a cooperative grower. Started off with 50 families. They decided to put their fruit together, particularly in the 1980s when Albarino really sort of like started to really gain some popularity because it just had its DO nominated. They thought, why not put our powers together to have more fruit and to make more wine, to make more monies. So 50 members, now it's up to 600 after all these years.
So the interesting thing about this one is this is called lias, and lias is the Spanish for lees. Sobre lias means on the lees. So if you ever see lias or sobre lias, it means it has had some lees aging. Now this has had lees aging as well. It's also had batonnage. I'm going to guess that this is, because they're two very different wines, is that this has had plenty oak and this has had no oak, but the lees aging is there to make it both wines thicker than they would have been normally. Just to go back to the previous one, Liz and Paul is more like a winter white than a summer white, which I would normally associate with Albarino. So
I agree.
A little bit of a jarring misapprehension between the wine and what you expect it to be. Sean says, I like it. Not Albarino-like, but delicious. A bit like a Shardy, but might just be because of the oak. Goes well with oysters. All right, there you go.
Oh, you have an oyster, Sean?
Of course.
I'm
She
jealous.
is a cultured lady. A cultured lady.
Oyster, well, seafood in particular with Albarino is
But
spectacular.
like, I mean, eating oysters is not cultured. That's what peasants
Okay.
peasants would do.
Okay.
Here's an interesting story, right? Not about oysters, but about
Peasants.
peasants. Pheasants. No. Mummy. No. It's about lobsters. You know, lobsters are the pinnacle of luxury, alongside things like oysters, caviar.
Oh,
The-
oysters are cheap.
No, oysters.
Oh, okay, fine.
Oysters
fine.
are
I know what you're saying.
100% seen as
I
the
know what you're
pinnacle of
saying.
luxury. But lobster used to be trash. Used to be this terrible food that was fed to indentured Irish servants / slaves in the east coast of Maine area of the United States. An indentured servant would be somebody who was a slave in name but would leave at the end of a certain period. So definitely not a slave. It's not the same experience. But indentured servant would be somebody who maybe had a debt and then would go and work as a slave for a period of time, and at the end of that would then leave. Right. Often in colonies like America or the Caribbean or whatever, right? So the Irish indentured servants would be working in Maine, and they would be fed this what the higher echelons would believe was just absolute trash, but was oysters. And the only reason why lobsters, which were basically these crustaceans that come out the sea that didn't taste particularly good, weren't particularly good, they weren't cooked very well, but just absolutely dreadful. The only thing that elevated a lobster into this incredibly luxurious product was because of the railways in America, where they all of a sudden could take these lobsters from Maine all the way across, and then they became something unique. And then surf and turf was created, where we would have steak and lobster tail combined together, and that's why lobster, which had been previously fed to slaves and indentured servants because it was just waste, vermin, trash, right, all of a sudden became so hyper elevated. And oysters, just like lobsters, are also the food of the underclass, and that's why if you eat oysters, you are an inferior.
Oh, okay.
So they're mollusks, aren't they? They're just like things.
Yes.
Facts. There you go.
Facts.
Into
Right.
facts.
Came in for the wine. Listen to his facts.
Listen to the facts. You don't have a choice because I've got a microphone. Right. Okay. So let's go on to the Martin Kodak's Lias Albarino. This has been a fave for a while, right? I mean, we've known and loved this wine for quite a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned before, this is there's no oak involved in this one, so lees aged only, which means that particularly with wines of elevated acidity levels, that lees aging is sometimes required to sort of like calm the wine down a little bit.
What we're saying here, that we're expecting more fruit purity, still the same sort of lovely richness and texture, which is often lacking from cool climate varietal whites, but no oak.
We're hoping that well, yeah, absolutely.
I love that first one, so I'm not hoping one way or another. But anyway, should we dissect?
This is a fantastic wine, yeah, absolutely. That's the same.
Cheers, young man. That was a good one. Right,
really
immediately way lighter.
A bit more like the wine number one today. It is relatively translucent, looks a bit like Sauvignon Blanc-esque. There's a little fleck of green running through that sort of
for sure.
Clear pale lemon vibe.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. There is a halo of discoloration, which means that this wine is relatively young. It is actually though 2019, so I mean it's not as young as wine number one. It's the same age as wine number two.
The legs are similar to wine number two. They're relatively quick. On the nose, this is more reminiscent of an actual Albarino. So you get again that
super crispy green apple.
Exactly.
Underripe pear.
Citrus fruit, orchard fruits. There's a little bit of tropicalia. There's lovely minerality. That's actually what I expect from drinking an Albarino. Yeah, I like it. Great nose.
I mean, but by comparison, I mean it still has maybe a little hint of that orange, but by no means elevated to the same level as it was in that first one. It's bright and punchy, zippy. What we often say is energizing and energetic and interesting and just kind of like it's a wine that smells sort of full of potential energy. Like it's like it's spent too much time sitting in front of the telly, and it's now starting to bounce off the walls, like Harrison after he hasn't seen you all day. It's like that.
Yes, related. I'm looking forward to it.
The Mabses drop a little can of lilt in the tasting notes, which I quite like. Pineapple and grapefruit.
Nice. Yeah, very nice. It's quite quite minerally, yeah. It's like really sort of.
It smells refined.
Refined.
Yeah.
Let's have a little taste, shall we? Something. Did you see the legs? Not very.
I mean, I've got quite slow legs here, I'll be honest. The weight and texture of that wine is absolutely outrageous. But then because you don't have that kind of oak vanilla sweetness coming through, you are instead then left with that crisp laser astringency from that citrus. Hey Higgins, how you doing, buddy? You okay?
I got that right.
What you got? Lots of empty bottles. Probably could have stayed upstairs, mate. That's fine. It's good telly. This good telly, right?
Just a big mouthful of Taleggio. So quite a rich cheese. See how it stands up.
I mean, it does. It cuts through. I'm gonna try a bit of Gruyere on this one.
Quite green. The flavors that I'm getting lots of green apple.
The Mavs has just dropped a little bit of Bramley apple in the old tasting notes.
There you go. Yeah. The Bramley apple, is that the one that you make apple pie from?
Yeah, apple pie.
You make it from different apples than we do in the Nederlanden, but nothing beats a Dutch apple taartje, eh?
Oh,
like a taartje.
Godverdomme appeltaart.
Appeltaart, lekker jongen. We put cinnamon in it.
Ruined it.
We make it from a different apple.
Cool. Stacey says, Phil, you would need to drink this wine very cold. These came out of the fridge, and this one in particular had only been in for a little bit. So this is going to be the warmest of the bunch, actually.
Oh, great. Warm £40 Albarino.
Warm £40 Albarino.
The best.
Cool. Having something nice and cold is a great way to experience the wine. Hey, Grace, watching at home, by the way, who's just messaged me saying she's watching on her break in Rami. What's up, Grace? How you doing? Peace and love, chick. If you're going to drink this for pleasure, then yeah, you want it to be cold as possible. But if you're drinking it to dissect it, then a little bit more temperature will allow your mouth to taste that much more. Chill is obviously a real suppressant of flavor. The colder it is, the less you'll taste. By having it a little bit warmer, you're tasting that much more. But there is a lot to taste on this, so I wouldn't ever recommend this wine being drunk fridge cold, because
I agree.
It's just got a little bit more texture, a little bit more.
You get more of the subtle nuances in the wine. It's when someone is cold, it's got to be very jarring to dissect anything.
So Shannon Dunk smells quite earthy, but tastes really fresh and tart. I like this much better tonight than the last time I tried it. There you go. Give it a second go. Right, I've got a little bit of a vid, a little cheeky vid for you here, guys, which is the harvest of 2021 of Martin Kodak's, with a soundtrack of the Organistrum playing the hits of Bruno Mars. I mean, our mics are still on, so we can talk. You can see the height of those wines trained there, the small crates.
There you go.
There's a lot of moisture just knocking about. And harvest happens about what time? About now? So maybe another month, right? Okay, that's enough. Right,
Very
so
beautiful.
again, just giving us a kind of like another little insight into Rias Baicas topography and aesthetics
It's hard to
via
pronounce, isn't
via
it?
the medium of an expensive videographer. So there you go.
It's hard to pronounce, isn't it? Rias Baixas.
Rias
Even the
Baixas.
Spanish have trouble pronouncing it.
Rias
because of the accent.
Baixas.
Yes, yes.
Oh, fuck! No, that's fine. It's fine. Right, tell us some shit, Buzz. Tell us some
shit.
Tell us some stuff.
Right, so for this one, they keep oak out of it. So again, smaller crates. Like
I mean, this is why this is interesting. Can you guys immediately tell how? Because the grapes will be almost the same because it's a fairly top end, similar price. So the grapes are coming from similar vineyards. Okay, well, I'm wrong.
It comes from a different vineyard. So because these guys have been working for 35 years in Rias Baixas, they've now have such an understanding of the land that they know that certain vineyards produce superior fruit than others. So it's almost like a cru system. Do you know what I mean? There's cru, premier cru, grand cru. So they know that certain ones actually produce better fruit. So they've got this a research vineyard, which is called Pe Redondo. Which when all the fruit comes for
So
this
is this one of those situations where these guys, these
certain
Galician winemakers will be pushing for certain pockets to be labelled as the equivalent of Premier Cru, Grand Cru?
Yeah,
because that then makes their grapes that much more expensive.
It will be because this is better fruit that I'm growing than my neighbours, so you pay more money for this one. That's just
Let me tell you, Pedro over there, he grows a sheet. I don't know why that was a Greek accent. He grows a fucking sheet, mate. It's the worst. You can't make it. It's Greek, Turkish, whatever. Definitely not Spanish. Generic Europe. I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah. So these come from their research vineyard, which grows some of the best fruit. I was listening to a podcast with one of the daughters of the family who actually works for the cooperative as a winemaker as well, and she was telling us, like, you know, what's the most important time? You know, what do you remember as from your childhood? So like, well, I remember in September having fun because you're obviously right near the ocean, so lots of swimming going on. But then immediately when school starts, you then all hands on deck. The whole family helps out with harvest because it's a family operation. And for her, it was brought a tear to my eye, actually. You know, thinking about it now, it's such a beautiful time. I'm just really connecting with my family every single year, and then all of us helping out together in the vineyard. She still goes there every year. And helps out.
Soppy prick.
Yeah, something in my eye, but but you know, better vineyards. Not taken away from any of the flavor purity from the delicious Albarino grape variety by leaving it in an oak for forever and a day, just enhancing it ever so slightly, so it takes it away and it's the harsh acids that you might get. Yeah, this is showing really well today. I've not had this in a long time. Very nice wine, very good.
You know what it tastes like?
Better than best one so far.
It tastes like a taxi home.
It's like a taxi home. There we go. We're gonna get it on it, are we? Okay.
By the time
we've got.
Let Susan know.
There you go, Suze. I'm not coming home. I'm gonna go great tomorrow.
Okay, so the name is Lias Albarino.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that there's been lees aging, and I'm guessing there's been a fair amount of it. Tell us what else these guys have done apart from just pick some great wines and avoid oak.
Best fruit, then it goes through a similar kind of winemaking technique as the organistrum. Small crates to keep the fruit pristine. There's going to be a little bit of a chilling element to it prior to fermentation to really get those aromas going. Soft press, and they use predominantly free run juice, like the last one that we're going to be tasting today is 40% free run juice as well. This one as well, because there's two other tiers that are sitting below this one. This is the top end one, believe it or not. And then you've
fuck wax dip bottles, mate.
These two are the other two of the family. They also make sparkling and a late harvest. Late harvest not available. Sparkling we have in store, which I've never tried. Have you tried it?
No, and I think we only have it in Ramsbottom.
No, there's one downstairs, I believe. Yeah, maybe we should chill and open it. So these two, so the free run juice goes in this one, and then the other bits of juice go into these two, if that makes sense, right? So the more you press it, the more interactions you're going to get with the skin and the pips, which sometimes is undesirable. So it's inferior quality. So it then sits in the lower end of it.
Picked up the fucking.
The ones I bought are real cheap from eBay. That was so underwhelming. I was going to try and pop it.
What a load of shit.
Hilarious. So yeah, free run juices. So the best juice, minimal interaction with the skins and the pips, so you get nice purity of the fruit. And then what they do? Yeah, they leave it on the lees, but only on selected fine lees particles.
So more of a genteel.
Correct, because if it's gross lees, you're gonna get an awful lot of that sort of flavor. So it would smell of croissants and pastries and all that. I got a slight hint of it. It's quite peachy now. This is actually my favorite one so far. And is it second cheapest?
You know what? It is starting to really grow into.
I don't know if I won this last one.
Why?
I don't know. I just think I'm going to be this. Well, I don't know. No, I'm one second. I'm saying
It seems like this wine is growing into it the longer it's in the glass, which is no surprise because that's just how wine reacts. Right?
I just think
all of a sudden now it's got a little bit of Gewürzy, aromatic, super aromatic, super aromatic.
Certainly hope not.
Super aromatic florality. A little bit of rose, a little bit of nettle.
This is more what I expect from an Albarino. It is fresh, zesty, energetic, florality, tropical fruit. Delish. Yeah, this is up there with what is the best one to taste today. What do you think at home?
It is delicious. The texture and the weight and the body of it is obviously something which elevates it to the highest
That's
level.
approve. Yeah, I really approve this one. It's been on our shelves for a long time and for good reason as well. Martin Kodak's stands for quality. Well, look at that one.
I thought it stood for some 13th century troubadour.
Yes, but if I see the name Martin Kodak's on any bottle of Albarino, I know it comes from a good winery and from a place of purpose and of family and being together at harvest time and having fun in the ocean,
and loving the sea.
Loving the sea
and enjoying.
I do
reciprocal sexual congress between.
That is so lengthy. I can still taste that.
That's what I was saying.
No, you were bumming the previous one. I'm having more of this.
All right, time to move on now. Wine number 4.
This one compared to this. Get in the sea, mate.
They'd like that though.
Yeah, I know.
Because they are massive sea shaggers around here.
Oh,
like.
Oh shit! I don't know which one is which. Which one is which?
That's it's Lagar de Pintos. Right, so this is the Tres Milas Cepas Albarino from Rias Baixas. I'm just coming no surprise. But this is
from the Salmas Valley.
This is from Spain. But this is the Lagar de Pintos. I'm assuming that's how they pronounce the S because they pronounce everything wrong in this part of the world. Lagar de Pintos Albarino, Tres Milas Cepas. Cepas is the Spanish for grape.
Oh, so much bastardization of the language there. Beautiful.
Spanish and Galician people going, no, you're killing my culture. Yeah, well, you kill bulls, so fuck you. Right, so this is some serious gear, this one. So this is limited production. I'm assuming cepas because cepage means grape mixture, grape, blend, right? The cepage on a wine are the grapes that go into that blend.
There's not 3,000 different. They've not counted the grapes. Like 3,000 different grape varieties.
Well, what does 3,000? You've done the research. What does 3,000 cepas mean? Read what Dom wrote.
It's the amount of bottles that they bloody produce every year, isn't it?
It's gonna be, isn't it?
3,000 bottles, mate.
This is number 2581. So
which ones have you guys got at home if you went for the full bottle? I don't think anyone did they?
Yeah,
people did go for the full
bottle. And as I dropped it off to Tom, he was like, what's the point in doing this shit if I'm not getting full bottle? I'm like, what up, bowler? Boo, 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 boo.
Nice. What's the point in doing this shit?
What's the point in doing this shit if it's not full bottle? Just the rest of you should listen to that. Okay.
Let's dissect.
Super limited production, really, really exquisite wine. We already know this is outrageous. Let's hope it lives up to the hype. There's a bit more color on this one compared to the Lias.
Yeah, but it's not as stupid looking as number 2.
The minute I say I like it, you're just like, Fuck you. Oh, right.
No, you're wrong.
I thought
Bad.
I could like that. No. Oh, right.
No,
Okay.
not good.
So more color on this one, which considering that it's the same grape from the same region, we're gonna say there's gonna be, and it's also the same vintage, 19, 19, and 19. All three of these were 2019.
That's loopy, dude. Wow. What the shit? It smells like honeycomb.
It's so much more restrained than wine number 2, and so almost smells not underwhelming. It smells like it's whispering, whereas number 2 is shouting.
Yeah, I'm jumping ahead. Sorry. Yeah, I would say more yellow. There's still that really sort of like Albarino sort of like coloration, a little bit of a fleck of green, but it's a little bit more shimmery, a bit more bright, a little bit more. What do you call it? Always mercury.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. That's it.
Quicksilver in the glass.
Like that bottle of gin that we've got upstairs that shimmers. I was taking the piss out of the other day.
Unicorn.
It looks like shampoo. Anyway,
come on a boat.
Come on a boat. It's
Come on a
so
boat.
good.
At some point, we're putting that in one of your fucking drinks and charging you an extortionate amount for it. And you know what? You'll pay it.
And you'll like
You'll
it
pay
as
it
well.
and
You're
you'll
like,
like
oh,
it.
this is great. It tastes of marshmallows.
So like, Lizzie Paul says it's got a lot more funk to it. This one.
Oh, do you think so?
You sexy motherfucker. 23.
As in like funk that you get from, from a byproduct from fermentation,
Or
as in like
the funk that
sulfury
you
or
get from Nile Rodgers when he's doing that.
I knew that was coming as well. Right. Okay.
Okay. Ruined it.
Yes,
exactly that, Barry.
the byproduct of fermentation and smells fermented. So something that you get in a natural wine. Right. Okay.
By the way, and this is,
I agree.
by the way, this is the scientific method. Good. Better.
So it's like pinky, yeah.
Cheers,
Okay.
right?
I think it's super layered on the nose. This is for me doing oak aging right rather than just living.
So you know what? Now that you've got the comparison, this is
Old watch. No, that's enough.
this has so many of the elements of wine number 2, but whereas wine number 2 was a Primark version of this is couture. And I still massively enjoy number 2. Wine number 2 is ASOS. Wine number 4 is bespoke, made to measure. Fucking, do you know what I mean? Like it's the same stuff.
Elaborate.
It's the same thing. It covers you the same, but it doesn't really cover you the same. You know what I mean?
Well, this is obviously got to do with the fruit. So this is a very small family estate, 5.5 hectares, right? And the viticulturalist is Dominique Rouge de Booby.
Rouge de Booby.
Yeah.
Rouge de Booby.
Rouge de Booby.
Rouge de Booby.
So they've got like a typical traditional Galician pazzo, which is a manor house or like a
Pazzo.
What do they call it in the States? A ranch.
Ranch
House. Oh yeah, all the vines as well. So this is
it's just like tick tick tick, isn't it?
on average 60,
a little bit of charcoal.
1800s, late 1800s.
Charcoal and marshmallow. The fuck?
I don't know. It's because I said marshmallow earlier because of the unicorns. The unicorn stuff.
So just before you get into that,
Fine.
stick a pin in it and come back to it.
I don't know what's talking
Stacey says I'm always wrong on the nose, but I smell sweet and sticky like honey. I'm getting marshmallow. I agree.
Honeycomb. I said
Honeycomb. Yeah. Cat and David, a little bit of farmland on those. Don't celebrate because we're gonna shoot you down shortly.
Don't celebrate.
She's like, yeah, I got one right. Sean, much more subtle aroma than the others. Honey, definitely with a bit of sweet flower smell, like bees should smell. You smelling a lot of bees going, oh, bee smells like shit. Fuck off. Oh, what the fuck is that bee? Oh, God, that bee smells like fucking rubber. This bee smells like condoma. Oh. Stacey, this wine is 100% the best. I'm finding it very hard to disagree with you on that one. Sean and Dunk, this is excellent. Save me a bottle. Don't, oh, for fuck's sake. Is he watching with you, Sean? I read out your messages, you fucking flid. This is excellent. Don't tell Doug he thinks I've got too much wine. Well, if he's watching with you, then guess what? He now knows your body.
There is no such thing as having too much wine.
It's so true. It is so true.
On the nose, this is excellent. This is reminiscent of a really well-made Burgundy, where it's subtle, well done, layered.
That is,
however,
that is also big words to say this is like a Burgundy.
I said reminiscent,
right.
Okay, and then say it's like a Burgundy. Okay, so it reminds me a little bit of Burgundy. However, this is very far removed of what I think an Albarino is. It really showcased the versatility very well. Yeah. No, this is done right. The amount of oak interaction.
What we said.
I've not tasted it yet.
We're going to open this bottle.
I have tasted it before.
We're going to open this bottle and then we're going to put the rest in the animatic.
Is that not going to happen now? Is that
Maybe.
Well, okay.
Mabsy, I don't know. I don't know what the cheese is. I don't know what.
I
don't know what order we've done.
I know.
Yet. Just
Gruyere.
try it all
Gruyere.
with all of it. Don't have the Gruyere because it will overpower it. Try all of the cheese with all of the wine.
No, because I thought
live your life. Don't be constrained
Caroline,
by
don't
what
listen
this
to him.
wanker put together at the last minute without really thinking about it properly.
I did think
Come
about it,
on,
actually.
guys.
I didn't go as far as like, especially all the cheeses for that, because other people do order the wines. I don't do that anymore now. Too busy with that. But I went goat cheese number 1, Manchego number 2, because of the nuttiness will go really well with this bullshit wine, and then number 3, 3 Taleggio, 4 Gruyere, 5 cheddar. If you went for 5, or I'm completely wrong.
Well, Sean and Doug says my number 4 is definitely not Gruyere, so
okay.
You're full of shit.
Right, there you go then. Is it Taleggio then? Maybe I'll swap those 2 around. This is subtle. And
Taleggio is what she's saying.
there you go then. See, it was nearly right. Focus on the finish of the wine of this. So before I went into my cheese tirade, I swallowed the wine. I can still taste it now, and very subtly there's something and a nice finish. You know what I mean? It just sits there. It is delicious, almost caramelly.
This feels three
Fucking
times
real good.
the price of that, right? This
Because it
this doesn't taste 3 times cheaper than that, and that's great for that.
I think we should go like this and rate them like that. These two because they're similar up against these 2.
Oh, well, that's not even close.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's an absolute piss take. So
Yeah.
let's not do that. Because the conversation is over.
Well,
Okay.
for fairness, though.
Here we go.
Anyway. Oh, you got another.
Another little video.
Nice. Okay. Is this from that?
Yeah, the music for this is like it's honestly free. Martin Kodak dropped some cash on it. The logo of the big dots were like, we've waited 3,000 bottles a year. We'll get whatever's fucking free on the internet. What press is it?
Looks like it. It's on top. I'm going to say it's a Galician grape press.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, so I'm guessing that there would probably be
There's something missing there.
it would be like there would be like a barrel like that, and that would then have like a wooden bit on it, and they would go and that would push down and press, and then it would come out of here. Yeah, look, that's where the wooden staves would go to make the barrel, and that would push down into it. This is important because this video really shows us how overcast it is. But it shows us how overcast it is, how much greener moisture it is, why it they came to what that is.
See these granite outposts. That's actually really idiosyncratic to Galician.
Oh, we've already done all that, mate.
Training.
Yeah, we've already done
They're
that.
called paras.
Badass.
It's actually what people want to know.
Barry's drunk. Barry's drunk because we had this conversation with you guys an hour and 15 minutes ago. So, right,
don't think I said the word
anything
called
more
Badass.
about this winemaking that we want to touch on, Buzz?
flipping plenty. So each plot is vinified separately. Whole bunch pressed, so there is a little bit of the stems that go into that, which gives it a secondary tertiary flavor profile. Fermented using wild yeast in 500-liter new and old French oak barrels, enhancing the wine's texture and aromatic complexity. Well, I think that they've done a jolly good job with that. The wine was then aged on its fine leaves in barrel for over a year, contributes to the silky mouthfeel. MLF was avoided, so that's the difference between number 4 and number 2.
Wow. Right.
To keep it fresh, because this still tastes a bit like an Albarino, but it's got nuances of that really subtle oak. This was just whatever, man. Can't crush. Only just 3,000 bottles were produced of this unique wine. For the gentle settling, the fermentation takes place in oak barrels carrying out weekly baton. So these guys also go through weekly batonnage on the gross lees, which is in the age of 12 months into these in the same barrel.
Is it really all we're talking about? The massive difference between this is
MLF.
Super Oak and MLF.
There's only one of these wines that sees MLF, and that's wine number 2. That's why it's a car crash. No, not really. I like wines, particularly white wines that see MLF usually when it's done correctly, though.
So, Paul says number 2 comes home from work to find number 4 sleeping with his wife, satisfying in a way that he never could.
There you go.
Cue a joke about somebody having a massive cork. Yeah, no, I'm happy with all of those jokes, Paul. You feel you may make more jokes because they were good. I enjoyed them. Right. So it's now time for a 1, 2, 3.
I'm not done with dissecting this wine yet. You guys all have to watch me really sort of like smelling it and thinking about it. Nah, this is sensational. It really showcases quite well what can be achieved if you handle Albarino the right way. Exceptional wine. Like I said, almost reminiscent of a Burgundy. Yeah, this is by far the very blatant winner of what is the best wine today, right? But which is the best pure Albarino expression? So I'm going to go and do what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to put those 2 against each other and these 2 against each other. That one and that one. That one could fuck.
and nobody was at all surprised.
How do you want it?
So
he hates when I mess with the bottle.
Oh man, YouTube's gonna kick
sorry,
us off,
YouTube.
mate. Right, so
I'm surprised that we're allowed to have content on YouTube, to be honest.
I mean, we're not.
Okay.
So this was.
We're not.
I've got. This is more difficult than I had.
You're making it too difficult here, Tom. It's very, very simple.
Right. So.
Well, okay. Which one do you think was my
4-3.
4-3 and 1.
But when I tasted this one, I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a bit of me that doesn't want to be browbeaten by you because you're a prick, right?
I'm a prick. Right? What?
But I just remembered that this one's 16 quid if they use the discount, and
it's good.
Fuck, it was drinking well.
Textural, that was probably the best one. Textural. No, it's probably not. This one is.
So it was very easy that this is the best, yes. And it's very easy that this was the second best.
Okay. Well, what about this one? Now, oh my god!
I feel I'm gonna.
Orange custard.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go 4-3-2. 4-3-2 is my answer.
Coward. Coward. You've been a coward.
No, coward.
Just say how it is, mate. Just
2-2-2-2.
2-2-2-2.
Okay, Lizzie says 4-3-2 because Lizzie knows what's up. Paul goes 4-3-1 because he's been swayed by Barry.
No,
4-3-1 says Shannon Duck. Not difficult. 4 heads and shoulders above the rest. Yeah, that wasn't the difficult bit. The difficult bit was when you come a little bit further down because there's more wines going on.
That is exceptional.
That is outstanding.
That is exceptional.
And this, we're also probably.
If you were to give me this blind, I would probably struggle to say, oh, that's probably an Albarino, that with a little bit of oak aging, but maybe new oak. And a bit of old French oak, but no malolactic. No, I wouldn't say that.
Alan says 4-2-1, and Caroline says 4-2-3. There we go. So there's a bit of love for the old Organistrum. Tom Cusack says 4-1-2. Dunk says 4-3-2.
Does everyone put that number 2?
Two.
Hold on, I saw someone there at the bottom. Who's that?
Kat says 243. And Dave says 412, which means that combined they're sticking the
I know where you live
Lias.
now. I know where you live. Near Corner Slice, by the way. Have you been? I went to get a Corner Slice earlier when I drove.
And then he gave me some corner slices, and the fact that he did means that I will have his babies, because I mean anything today.
That was nice
he,
of him,
he
wasn't it?
turned up with fucking corner slice and went, "Do you want a couple of the corners out my corner slice?" And I was like that.
See what a nice guy I am, really. He's painted me like I'm a prick.
Right, come on then, prick. Let's have your no. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, mate, easy. 4, 3, and 1. Was there a second one? I can't remember it. As I do in the news.
Nice. Okay, right.
Let me open that before you spray all over your laptop, love. Hey.
Do you have clean glazer?
I need a clean
So
glazer.
we're now going to move on to our bonus bottle. If you haven't gone with the bonus bottle, then feel free to log
Can
off.
you show everyone the thermosensitive label?
Let's go, Tom Cam.
Oh my god. So this is Madafrades, arguably one of the saltiest Albarinos out there. And this has got a thermo-active label. So when the wine is cold enough, a little galleon appears right there. Can you see it? A little boat shape.
I mean, I can see it. Can you guys see it right there?
Yes.
Little boat. Maybe not as cold
If
as.
it's not cold enough, look, it's in there.
There, can you see it? Can you see it?
Anyway, beautiful blue bottle.
Fuck's sake.
Very Ibiza, where Tom did a load of drugs and then lay on a flat.
No one said I did any drugs.
Oh, he was high on life. And
I didn't, my girlfriend at the time thought that she turned into I turned into like a nutcracker sweet like toy soldier.
wow, man. What was this?
And she turned into like a broken doll. She was walking around these heels like that. She was like, keep up, I'm a doll.
Wow.
It was really, really fun. It was really good.
Don't do drugs, people.
Paul Stupidly forgot to add the bonus. Not impressed. Lizzie,
What?
bitch that bitch. But obviously don't. Because trust me, when you see
So
what's
sorry, guys.
coming to you for the next live tastings, you definitely it's fine. You guys have such unbelievable wines coming to you, and so much of it. It's mental.
I know. I love you
It's
guys.
mental.
Thank you. Madafrades, blue bottle, looks very Ibiza, looks very Blue Marlin, eh? And you go there and you do the house music and all that.
House music.
Thermoactive label, let me tell you again. And it's with their normal expression as well. This one is right super coastal, the vineyards are. So these have got that lovely salinity. Have you ever had a glass of wine?
Yeah, a few.
It's also like, what do you call that? Parelmoer, we say in Nederland, when it's got the shibber. Shampoo, shibbery. And it's the first of its kind, sparkling Albarino. Now, when I visited the region, I went to
Have you been there?
went to Porto, dipped my toe into Galicia and all that. But we went to visit this Vinho producer called Villanova, and Bruno, the owner of the winery, Bruno Lonchester, his name is. He sent one of the guys and said, "Go into the cellar, which is granite, obviously, and like this little door." And he sent this little poor Irish chap in there without a torch. It was so funny because he was scared in the dark and spoilers. He said, "We're scared of spoilers."
I fucking can't believe it.
And it made everybody lol real loud, particularly the Portuguese guys, because like, what was he saying? And they came out with a bottle of sparkling Albarino without a label, and that was the first time I've ever tasted the sparkling Albarino. It's like, I didn't even know this existed. And I got back into the UK, and then I found this, and it's like, oh, it's actually not that rare then. But these guys were the first ones to produce one from Galicia, female winemaker. These guys started off in 1985. Let me show you how to open a bottle of sparkling wine without taking Tom's eye out. Or in fact, let me show you how to take Tom's eye out without sparkling wine. Balls. So you get rid of the foil to reveal the muselet, which is the metal cage that keeps the cork
So
into
excited
place.
to show you this. I
When-
can't fucking tell you. Like, he's like that. Ooh, look at that. Look at all I know.
Look at how much I know about sparkling wine. I used to work in Champagne, So once the muselet is revealed, it needs that cage on there because inside this it builds up to a truck tire, Tom, and it can sometimes force the cork out of the bottle with enormous force and take out Tom's eyes. What you then need to do with the little eye, you need to pull that down. And you turn it 6 turns every single time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then You twist the bottle, not the cork. Keep the cork in place. I keep the display on for grip, and then you're going for the angel's fart, which is the unofficial term that I call it. You're looking for that. Oh! So you wanted to do some ASMR? That's how you do it. Not with that limp cork action that you tried to do earlier.
Try to pop a still wine.
This one, oh, that was exceptional. Now the wine is opened, and we're going to enjoy.
Okay, so
let's see. Do you reckon this is going to impact
before we start, I've got a little video to show you, which again just shows us a little bit more about Madafradas. We don't need to have the sound on for this one because the music is so bad.
Yeah,
it's so bad. Descubriendo Madafradas Albarino 2020. What vintage is this?
I mean, it's non-vintage. Surely.
Yeah, you're right. It will be non-vintage. But here we go. Look,
Yeah,
like so much brighter colours than on the other ones.
Blatantly some budget in this production.
A little bit of cash. Ooh, hello. I quite like this when we're narrating over the. It's like a reaction video.
Oh yeah.
Where you watch people on Udem going, "Oh, I can't believe she did that! Oh my fucking god!" So there are these kind of raised up vines, still staggered, still stepped, so that the breeze when it comes across actually does impact it. Otherwise, it's only going to blow through the first line of vines and not all of the rest of them. So it's quite important. They've got a super modern winery, haven't they?
Yeah, super modern. So this got.
But they all do. The whole of northern Spain, the architecture is fucking looping, right? Whether you're in Galicia or whether you're all the way down to Bilbao and San Sebastian, it's all just mental. So modernist, like such a different kind of aspect to the rest of Spain, which is looking backwards. You end up in sort of Andalusia, it's all looking back to the Moorish occupation, all that kind of stuff. The northern Spain is all about future. Anyway, I mean, this gives you a real view.
Is that the winemaker? Is it?
Yes.
Or you just gonna...
Whose name is?
Go on then. I have to check. There's a written down. Albarino.
Come on, I'm trying to find out where she first appears.
Yeah.
Albarino! Disputo tutta la faccia.
There you go. There she is. 100% Albarino, made in the traditional method. What that means is made in exactly the same way champagne is made. When a second alcoholic fermentation.
Oh, she's got a mask on, isn't that sad?
During COVID, mate. That was.
Yeah, but she's outside in a vineyard on her own.
Yeah, but then I'll get the COVID germs on the grapes, isn't it? People might
Yeah,
think,
now she's close to it. Let's not get into that. When we get flagged up like a Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you want more information about COVID that doesn't come from an MMA commentator, go here. Anyway, that's enough of that shit.
Traditional method where a secondary alcoholic fermentation happens in the bottle. This time the CO2 cannot escape anywhere, which carbonates the wine naturally. Now, also something that's worth pointing out, that this is a brut nature. Do you know what that means, Thomas?
It means
wrong.
No added sugar.
Yes, correct. After the wine has fermented, because fermentation is yeast eating sugars and converting into alcohol, heat, and CO2, right? Once there are no sugars left to eat, the yeast will die into sediment, also known as lees. By leaving it on this lees, it will further develop the wine. However, all the sugars have been eaten, otherwise the yeast won't die. Now you end up with a bone dry wine or a slimline wine, as I like to call it. So
nobody likes to call it that.
1 minute on the lips, 2 lifetimes on the tits. And whatever
life timings,
whatever you guys call it, you can then choose to not add any sugar. That's what they've done in this case, because sugar hides a multitude of sins. If the wine is out of balance at all, it doesn't really taste very nice, add a little bit of sugar to it, because it's going to mask any of the flavor impurities that you might find in this thing. But in this case, it's all about minerality and fruit purity.
Salinity.
Is it going to be nice? Let's find out.
Prost, everybody.
Prost, whoever's got. I know some of you, actually, most of you have got the bonus bottles, apart from you, Lizzie. Sorry.
And she's fucking furious about it as well.
Okay, now we're looking at when we're looking at the appearance of the wine.
Not an outrageous level of bubbles, which is obviously something that only really comes into account when you're looking at a sparkling wine.
You know what? You know the other method? What that's called? The official
Charmat.
Not bad. The second method.
It's called the Charmat tank transfer.
Charmat, but you know, close but no.
What did I say?
Charmat.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Right, okay. So gentle Bublés, gentle Michaels.
Gentle Michael Bublé.
Michael
He only
Michael
comes out at
Bublé.
Christmas. What about the colour of the wine top?
Sort of midway between wine.
Wrong.
Midway between wine 3 and wine 4.
Yo, the nose on that is very, very good. That is like super granite hug vibes. Super banging two stocks, what they say, banging two rocks together.
Okay. Hello, Fritz. Hello, Mädchen. Oh. That's what you. That was your childhood. That was basically
it definitely looks more like yours. Fine. Since it's a running joke that I only play with concrete and all
that. Running joke. Because it's true. Right. Okay. So, Sean says second favorite wine after number 4.
Oh, that's a drink.
It has the right intensity of mousse. In other words, it's fizzy, but it's not fucking Soda Stream. You know what I mean? The bubbles are intense to start off with, but they fall away dead quick, and you're left with a real good quality. Somebody once told me, right? The champagne.
Like a girlfriend. You met in February of last year. Somebody. Anyway, I think everybody gets the joke.
Anyway, so someone told me that champagne was bullshit because
who the flips at that?
No,
who?
It is since
spill the beans.
It was since been proved to be bullshit, but
okay, there you go.
Because they couldn't make still wines, they had to hide it behind bubbles, and I've always taken that with me in a way, right? That you can have inferior wine, and if it's fizzy, well, it's better. It's not better. It's not better than an equivalent still wine, but because you fizz it, it's a bit better because it's fizzy, right? So for me, that fizziness can be used to mask a whole load of stuff because it's like, oh wow, it's exciting, and it pops and it blah blah, right? It's like the thing about this is it starts out fizzy, the mousse, the intensity of the bubbles, then once it's like initially it's like bow, and then it's like, and it disappears like sort of gently. You're left with fucking delicious wine. Great structure, great kind of ABC 1, 2, 3 start mid palate finish. You know, it's got those nuts and bolts, but it's also fizzy. It's also had secondary fermentation in the bottle. It's also had lees aging, I'm guessing, in the bottle as well.
Yes.
Therefore,
it's a great thing. It says I wanted to find out how long on the lees because that's obviously important for me as a enthusiast or an expert or whatever. Wine wank, yeah. So I wanted to know how long I spent on the lees because the minimum for champagne is 50 months. And then I literally typed it into Google saying, how long does Madefrat spend on the lees when it comes to the sparkling wine? And it said it spends time on the lees after the secondary fermentation until disgorgement. Like, okay, great. So
translate, right, is it's in the bottle until it's not.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Cool. All right.
So I don't know.
Write that down. It has a fucking.
What I do think about this wine though is that it's really reminiscent of sherbet. Not particularly orange though, but it's really
grapefruit curd sherbet.
Almost like this. It's so incredibly energetic because it's got no residual sugar whatsoever. Then it's also sparkling. That's almost like licking a battery. It's like, blah! Do you know what I mean? Like an explosion on the palate. And I like that. It's really like, what's up? You know,
where would you place this if you were placing it?
Well, definitely above number 2, isn't it?
Well, number 2 didn't even place for you. So. Between 4 and 3 or after 3?
Yeah.
That's not an answer, dickhead.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's really tough.
What the fuck?
Okay, I was gonna say between second place.
So between 4 and 3.
Yes.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay, then I'm gonna change my mind.
I hate that.
I'm gonna change my mind.
But anyway, right. Listen, we're gonna fuck off because we're becoming more and more nonsensical and insensible. And also, we want to drink all of the rest of this stuff.
Apart from number 2.
He couldn't not. Listen, you guys are fucking brilliant.
Thank you, guys.
Check out the website for the tastings in there at the end of in mid-September and at the end of September, because they are both set to be absolutely outrageous. Let us know if you'd like to do one at the start of September, because I can be joining you guys from Tuscany.
Yeah, well, who's gonna do it from here then? Just you from Tuscany.
I'll be in Tuscany. Baz will do all of this stuff.
I will not do all of this.
I'll drink the same wine as you, but I'll be in Tuscany.
Yeah, sounds great.
Butt naked next to a pool.
So we're not going to do this then.
No, so I'll be honest with you, I didn't think.
No, I will refuse to do a taste of Marshall.
I'll be honest with you.
Hey Barry, how's it in Manchester? Yeah.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd get my governor
I'm going.
to
Bye,
zoom
everybody.
in and then zoom out as I'm like, oh hey, I'm on a horse. Like that Old Spice advert. It was like, look at me, I'm here. And
Bye.
right, that's the end of the tasting. Thanks, you guys are fucking brilliant. We love